rap album cover is making its way around social media. The cover shows pictures of men who have been murdered in Jacksonville. Local rapper Ksoo posted the picture to Instagram. It's since been taken down.
He feels like the local rappers are glorifying these murders by putting the victims' faces on the album cover. It's unclear if the rappers are directly linked to these murders, but she says it's hard enough having to live with her son's violent death every day, and it makes it worse seeing her son portrayed like this.
It was relevant, but I don't know.
So because we didn't specifically ask you if there was a specific phone call from Raekwon Howard, you didn't think at that time it was relevant to let us know that?
I don't know.
Don't know.
They knew though. State knew.
The state knew how important that statement was, right?
Right.
Because what you're telling this jury today is that you witnessed him speaking to Raekwon Howard that he was going to kill someone, right?
Right.
That's like a confession, right?
Right.
You didn't think that was relevant to tell the lawyers for Hakeem Robinson?
It was relevant, but I don't know.
Okay. Now, you're saying that took place in the car. When was that phone call taken? Phone call that you witnessed?
Before we switched positions.
What do you mean before you switched positions?
Before we switched the spots.
So you're already in the parking lot. You weren't driving, right?
Right.
You're already parked, right?
Right.
So there wouldn't be any, and you said what kind of call was it? Was it a phone call, a FaceTime, an Instagram? What was it?
Instagram.
How do you know it was Instagram?
Well, guessing it was.
Say what?
Guessing it was.
You're guessing it was Instagram. It's funny that you commit to Instagram as being the call, right?
Right.
That's what you chose, right?
Right.
When you met with the state attorney's office, did they show you any of Hakeem Robinson's Instagram? Well, it's his celebrity account. Did they show you any of his records from Instagram?
No.
Okay. But you were initially charged in this case, right?
Right.
And when you're initially charged, you actually had an attorney, right?
Right.
And you get discovery in the case, right?
Right.
Okay. So you were privy to all of the filings and all of the recordings and all of the evidence that they had, right?
Right.
And you got to go through that with your attorney and study it before you decided to come forward, right?
Right.
Okay. So according to you now, we know you say that Hakeem Robinson had his phone.
Right.
You're not sure how this call took place, but you clearly remember what he said on the phone, right?
Right.
Now, Raekwon Howard, how you know it was Raekwon Howard?
Wow. Told me.
Who told you?
Hakeem.
Okay, so now you're saying it's not only that, he now said to you something else, right?
Right.
So now, okay, so things are developing as we're sitting here. So you're now saying he turned to you and said, so I just called Raekwon Howard.
No, he told me he was about to call him.
So he tells you, I'm about to call Raekwon Howard, right?
Right.
You don't say to him, don't call anybody because we're about to commit this murder, right?
I don't.
You don't. You, the one who was so concerned about not using Chris Brown's car because that can be traced, right?
Right.
You allow him to make a phone call to Raekwon Howard, right? And in your presence, you say he tells him what he's going to do, right?
Right.
That makes Raekwon Howard a witness for you guys, right? Against you guys.
I wouldn't have knew that.
How would you not have known that?
I don't know the legal system like that. So
You do know the legal system, Mr. Barno.
I wouldn't have knew that would have made him a witness. At the time, I wouldn't have knew that.
The fact that Raekwon Howard had a conversation with Hakeem Robinson where you claim he confessed to him is not a witness in the case?
I wouldn't have knew that.
And let's talk about what you do know about Raekwon Howard. What do you know about him?
As in? As in?
You know anything other than his name?
I know his nickname.
Which is?
Pooh.
Anything else?
50K.
Okay. Any other details about him? When's his birthday?
I have no idea.
Isn't it true that he's a part of 6 Block?
Associated with, yes, ma'am.
He's associated with 6 Block, the op group to ATK, right? And your testimony before this jury is he decided to call someone from the upside to confess.
What would it take for a father to watch a grainy surveillance video, point to the main suspect, and tell everyone that the person responsible is his own son? This isn't a hypothetical question. This is the unbelievable, true story of Jacksonville rapper Hakeem Robinson, better known as Ksoo. His trial exposed the dark side of street beef and retaliation. But it was the shocking testimony from his own family that turned a local crime story into a chilling tale of betrayal. This is a story about a war started by a song, a desperate escape that trapped innocent people, and a father's choice that may have sent his son away for life. The story begins with a deep, personal loss. Before the events that would land Ksoo in court, his family was struck by tragedy. His half-brother Willie Addison was taken out in a hail of gunfire. Ksoo's father, Abdul Robinson Sr., known as Blue, was driving the car and was hit himself. KSU's other brother, Crazy K, was wounded. In the aftermath, a rival from a group known as 6 Block, Charles McCormick Jr., or Lil Buck, allegedly did the unthinkable. Rumors claim he dropped a diss track, mocking the passing of Willie Addison. In street politics, this was the ultimate sign of disrespect. It was a line drawn in the sand, and for Ksoo and his crew, it was a line that they believed had to be answered for. That song is believed to be the spark that lit the fuse for everything that came next. On January 15, 2020, that fuse finally ran out. The plan was allegedly set in motion with cold precision. Ksoo, his cousin ATK Scotty, and a friend nicknamed Butter began their hunt. They tracked Lil Buck to a local business, an express employment agency, where he was trying to line up a new job. They didn't rush. They parked their stolen Nissan Altima and waited, watching him go inside. They knew his car and had him completely blocked in. As Lil Buck walked out of the building, feeling hopeful about his future, his pass was waiting for him in the parking lot. Prosecutors say Ksoo didn't wait for a signal. He reportedly jumped out of the car, ran directly toward Lil Buck, and fired a storm of bullets. The entire brutal moment was captured on security cameras, but getting away clean would be another story. The roar of the gunfire attracted immediate attention. An off-duty police officer was nearby and heard everything. He saw the stolen Nissan speed away from the scene and instantly gave chase. The escape quickly spiraled into chaos. With the officer in hot pursuit, the driver, Butter, lost control, and the Nissan Altima crashed. The doors flew open, and the group scattered in a panic. It's said that Ksoo, holding the primary weapon, ran in one direction, disappearing into a nearby wooded area. His cousin, ATK Scotty, and the driver, Butter, ran in the opposite direction, leaving their own weapons behind in the wrecked car. They were now unarmed, on foot, and desperate to get away. Their next move would terrify an innocent woman and change the case forever. Running on pure adrenaline, Scotty and Butter picked a random house and burst inside. A 57-year-old woman was just walking out of her bathroom when she was confronted by 2 strangers in her home. She screamed at them to get out, but her defiance only made things worse. They allegedly dragged her back inside, where Butter choked her to the ground and threatened her. Terrified and overpowered, she watched as they frantically changed out of their clothes and into her husband's, trying to alter their appearance. Trapped in their own desperate situation, they made a phone call. They called KSU's father, Blue, for help, asking for a ride to get them out of there. That single phone call directly connected the family to the crime scene, creating a trail that police would soon follow. For investigators, the case started coming together, piece by piece. The crashed Nissan was a treasure trove of evidence. Inside, they reportedly found DNA from both Ksoo and ATK Scotty, physically placing them in the getaway vehicle. The trail didn't stop there. Back at the hostage's house, Scotty had made a critical mistake. It said his DNA was left on the victim's clothing, directly linking him to the assault. The digital world had its own story to tell. Prosecutors claim that just moments before the ambush, Ksoo made a video call on Instagram to a known rival. His message was chillingly simple. "I caught one of your boys slipping." As if that wasn't enough, Ring cameras in the neighborhood where Ksoo fled had captured footage of a man in a distinct two-tone hoodie running through backyards, matching the description of the shooter. The net was closing in, and it was closing in fast. With the evidence mounting, the pressure was on. The first domino to fall was the driver, Butter. He was arrested the same day and, facing a mountain of charges, he decided to talk. His cooperation was a massive victory for the prosecution. He allegedly admitted to his role as the getaway driver and laid out the entire story for investigators. According to reports, Butter told them everything. He confirmed they had followed Lil Buck from his apartment and waited for him at the employment agency. He identified Hakeem Robinson as the one and only shooter, with the driver now serving as their star witness. Prosecutors had an insider's account of the entire crime. The most shocking witness was yet to come, and it was someone nobody could have predicted. The final, devastating blow to Ksoo's defense came from his own blood. His father, Abdul Blue Robinson Sr., made the choice to cooperate with the police. His alleged reason was one of pure self-preservation. Having already spent over a decade in prison, Blue reportedly told others that his poor health meant he couldn't survive another long sentence. So, he made a choice. He agreed to testify against his own family members, including the son who had been with him the day his other son, Willie, was taken. In the courtroom, prosecutors played the silent, grainy surveillance footage of the incident. Then, they asked Blue who the person in the video was. His answer echoed through the room and sealed his son's fate. He confirmed that the shooter in the video was his son. Hakeem Robinson, The Story of Ksoo, is a tragedy born from another tragedy. A diss track, released to mock a painful loss, allegedly triggered a brutal act of revenge. That revenge led to a chaotic getaway, a terrified hostage, and a trail of evidence that was impossible to ignore. In the end, the case was defined by one thing: betrayal. The driver turned on his friends, and a father turned on his son. The defense argued that the father and the driver were jealous of Ksoo's rising rap career and conspired against him. A jury saw it differently. Now, the story leaves behind a haunting question. Was the father's testimony a cold act of self-preservation from a man desperate to stay out of prison? Or was it an unthinkable betrayal of his own flesh and blood? The truth is buried somewhere in the wreckage of a family torn apart by the unbreakable, and often brutal, code of the streets.